What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video, because the Bild newspaper and Christian Falk, who already broke the story that Thiago is about to be signed by Liverpool in the summer, he's reporting that Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool is reportedly interested in signing RB Leipzig defender Upamecano Konate before the January transfer window closes, and we are in talks with Leipzig because we are interested in Upamecano and Konate, and I think Konate, and the report is also saying that Konate would be the cheaper option because Upamecano is an ever-present basically in the Leipzig team and they don't really want to sell him, but Konate, I think he's a little bit more gettable, if you like, for Liverpool. So let me know if you are excited about this transfer news by leaving a like on this video. Leave in the comments below which centre-back do you think Liverpool should sign in the January transfer window, who would be your number one target, and also subscribe if you are new around here. So Konate is just 21 years old. He joined Leipzig in 2017 after transferring from FC Sochaux, which is a French club, and since joining Leipzig, the young Frenchman, as I said, only 21, has featured in 86 matches in all competitions, and he has grown into one of Nagelsmann's most trusted defender. And like Upamecano, Konate is also getting a lot of plaudits and getting a lot of interest in Europe from many big clubs because he is one of the most solid defenders in the Bundesliga. Leipzig has one of the best defenses in the Bundesliga, and according to a recent report from Bild journalist Christian Falk, Jurgen Klopp is actually interested in both Upamecano and Konate. Christian Falk is saying that Liverpool have contacted the management of Upamecano, but also Liverpool are also interested in Upamecano. Konate. Upamecano is unlikely to be available until the summer, so if Liverpool want a centre-back right now, Konate is their best option. It has been reported Liverpool may be able to sign the young defender away and price him away from Leipzig before the January transfer window slams shut, because RB Leipzig are believed to have inserted a minimum release clause of 45 million into Konate's contract, which is a very high fee, but that fee, Liverpool may be tempted to activate that release clause in an attempt to alleviate these injury worries that they have. Basically, signing Konate would almost guarantee Liverpool the Premier League title, or at least finishing in the top two. And I think from the prize money from the Premier League and the Champions League, we could easily earn that 45 million back. And also, Konate is only 21 years old, so in truth, he could actually play for Liverpool for the next 10 years. But even if he doesn't, even if he leaves Liverpool after 5, 6, 7 years, we can still get that money back because his resale value would be as high as 45 million, but probably even higher than 45 million. So I think this is a no-brainer deal for Liverpool to do. Of course, we have to be wary that during the pandemic, Liverpool don't really want to pay a huge amount of money, huge transfer fee. And according to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool are still looking for opportunities to sign a centre-back in January, but it would be almost impossible for Liverpool to spend over 50 million on a new centre-back. This is what Romano said. I think that Jurgen Klopp has been honest when he speaks about the market. Not all managers are honest about transfers, but Jurgen Klopp was honest in his interviews. They are looking for opportunities. If something arrives, they will be ready to sign a new player, but spending 50, 60, 70 million euros for players like Upamecano or this kind of centre-back is absolutely impossible in this window for Liverpool. If they will have a good opportunity, they will think about it in the next few weeks. If not, I'm sure Liverpool will stay with this squad. They will try to extend the contract of Van Dijk. They are planning with him for the future, so this year they will open negotiations to extend his contract, and then next summer they will go for someone new. What complicates the matter is that Liverpool drew Leipzig in the round of 16 of the Champions League knockout stages. So how reluctant would Leipzig be selling one of their best centre-backs to Liverpool in the January transfer window before playing them in the Champions League? I think that makes the deal even harder for Liverpool to do. But also Robbie Fowler, of course, the Liverpool legend, former Liverpool striker, urged Liverpool to sign a centre-back if they want to win win the title, the Premier League title again. This is what he said. I think ideally, yes, Liverpool should enter the transfer market for a centre-back because of injuries. I won't say they are struggling because they are right there at the top. They are still progressing. To win the Premier League is always the toughest. Arsene Wenger, Jose Mourinho, managers who have won the Premier League have always said that the next year is always the hardest. People always want to beat the champions, therefore they work that little bit harder, they run that little bit harder. And every game is like a cup final for the opposition when they play against Liverpool. They rise to the occasion, they increase their levels, and because it's a huge thing to beat Liverpool in the Premier League. And Robbie Fowler also said Liverpool are in a great space and they are playing unbelievable football in the last 2 years. Eventually the results will be a little bit better. The championship is still Liverpool's to lose. They are the team to catch. Manchester City will run a Liverpool close, but they probably need someone to come in as well. For the supporter point of view, you want your team to be the very best. Jurgen and his staff are certainly looking into it and trying to do something in the January transfer window. And Robbie Fowler also praised Jurgen Klopp, saying, if I want to develop my game now, it would be certainly Jurgen Klopp. I think he ticks every box. He's a manager that you want to be. He's that man because technically and tactically he's excellent. His man management and demeanor are brilliant as well. He's someone that anyone who is a manager now trying to grow into the game, he's certainly someone who you should certainly aspire to become for what he is and what he has achieved. I am no different. I want my team to play as his teams do. I am ambitious, Fowler continued. I am exactly the same that I was as a player. I want to be the very best. I want to compete and win lots of trophies. I wanted to be number one in everything. Even when I am playing football with my son, I want to beat him. I want to beat him in ping pong, darts and everything. That is my ethos. I am prepared to do anything to be number one. You need to build a good team and a staff around me. I am happy with the way it is going. Robbie Fowler had some very good successes in Australia and now he is currently coaching in India at the Indian Super League side East Bengal. So good luck to him in the future. James Pearce also gave us an update on the Gini Wijnaldum situation. James Pearce expressed his hope that Wijnaldum will end up staying at Liverpool. He did admit that history was against the club. Last I heard, there was a large gap between what Wijnaldum wanted and what Liverpool were preparing to offer as wages, as the contract. I really hope a compromise can be reached, but I think history shows that very few players get this close to being a free agent and ending up staying put at their current club. He would be able to bank a huge signing on fee if he moved, and also potentially bigger wages at Barcelona. But it's a very public that Barcelona, it's a very uncertain future at the whole football club. Messi potentially leaving, Barcelona facing bankruptcy charges if they don't sell players worth 90 million, so they will got some of the squad. And does Wijnaldum really want to go there to a club in transition, a club who won't be Champions League contenders without Messi? I think it's safe to say. I'm not sure. And also Ronald Koeman's future is pretty uncertain. That would put off Wijnaldum, I think, these issues. So I think maybe that's why Wijnaldum is just waiting it out. And who knows, maybe other clubs will come in and offer Wijnaldum a good contract. But I think apart from Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and maybe Barcelona, no other club is a step up from Liverpool, honestly. Liverpool are at the top still in Europe, in the Premier League. And yes, we had a bad run of form recently, but that happens to the best of clubs. Look at Bayern Munich. They lost back-to-back games. They just got knocked out from the German Cup by a second division side on penalties, and it can happen to even the best teams. And Bayern Munich was the best team in Europe last season, and even they are having a bit of up and down form and struggling. So anything can happen really in this pandemic season. It's the most unpredictable season of all. And I would also ask you guys, what do you think about the Premier League's new COVID guidelines, which means that that the players, not just at Liverpool but at all football clubs, players shouldn't celebrate together in the Premier League. And it's quite weird. I can understand why they are doing it, because the infection rate is absolutely crazy going into the UK. It's breaking all-time records almost every day for deaths and also for all infections. And football has to be a role model. The footballers has to be role models. And if kids watching and young adults watching at home, seeing the players celebrating together, hugging each other all the time, that doesn't send out a good message. But also there is the counter argument that football is a contact sport. You can't really avoid close contact. You can't really social distance on the football pitch, and it's a tough argument. I think I can see both sides of the coin having some valid arguments. But for example, at corners you have a lot of players in close proximity. But also there is the argument that some people, including myself, I haven't hugged my mom since like March, since this pandemic started, and we are approaching almost a full year of people not being able to see their relatives. Footballers should be able to not hug each other for like 5 seconds after scoring a goal, but football is an emotional sport and it's difficult to break this very, very long habit in football. Jurgen Klopp said, we stick to the rules, and if now somebody says, if you do this again, we have to stop the game, I wouldn't understand, to be honest, but I'm not the decision maker. I understand rules have to be strict, but we have to learn from the things that have worked in the past few months, and football worked. If there is something to celebrate, it will be in an appropriate way, but it's difficult. Football is an emotional game, and what we should not forget in the discussion about this is these players are tested 2 or 3 times a week. During the week, we reduce contact to a minimum. If we would think and feel we would threaten 1 or 2 of our teammates with a goal celebration, we would never do it. It would just not happen. I think that's the key. Footballers are tested 2 or 3 times every week, so anytime somebody gets infected, they know it in 1 or 2 days. Football is like Jurgen Klopp said, is an emotional game, so it's very hard to social distance during celebration when you can't social distance throughout the whole 90 minutes. Jose Mourinho also said it's very, very strict what the Premier League asks us to do. We are not training not to celebrate goals. For players on the pitch, it's a very individual thing. My advice is maybe the guy who scores express the emotion of the team by himself alone, when he can express all the emotions of the team, and then of course share a walk with teammates and happiness. We try to make the things the best we can. But yeah, it's tough. And John Barnes said that Upamecano would be a great signing for Liverpool. All top teams are looking at him, and the reason being is he's one of the best centre-backs in the world. It would have been better had he been available now in January, because at the end of the season we might not need a new centre-back or have the problems that we have now. If we sign a centre-back now for just short term, we then have another centre-back alongside all the players that are going to be available next season. I feel that if any top player becomes available, any team will be looking at him, not just Liverpool. It's the same with Koulibaly at Napoli. He's one that is wanted by a lot of other clubs as well. Upamecano would be a great signing for Liverpool. Yes, he's young, very talented, the right profile of player we should be looking at. It would be a good signing if we can get him, of course, as there will be many other teams after him as well. And also, John Barnes talked about Thiago. It's not a new way of playing for Liverpool just because they brought Thiago in. Last season they dominated every single game in the league with possession, except maybe when they played against Man City, as they did take the lion's share of the ball. It didn't surprise me to see him involved against Aston Villa, as these are the games when you have 70 or 80% possession. Those games are made for Thiago. When you play against teams who are going to try and have as much possession as Liverpool do, you may need a more defensive midfield player in the middle of the pitch, likes of Milner, Henderson, Wijnaldum. These are the kind of games where Thiago might not play. You can properly look at the games, who they are playing against, whether they feel they are going to be in a dominating position, and whether it is a sensible decision to play him. I've said all along, since the start of the season, it didn't surprise me when he came on against Chelsea and they were down to 10 men. Liverpool knew they were going to dominate possession, and he's so effective when it comes to dictating play. He's a fantastic player, gives Liverpool the option in terms of playing differently with his creativity in midfield, particularly when teams defend deep in numbers, whereby they are in tight spaces. He's our best midfield player, but not every game is going to be like that. If it's an open game whereby you need a stronger runner like Wijnaldum or Henderson to break forward without the ball because there's lots of space, maybe you don't play him. But I think pretty much like 80% of games that Liverpool play, they will dominate possession. So Thiago will probably play in like 80% of Liverpool's games from now on. And I think he's an absolute banker, shoe-in for Liverpool to start against Manchester United, the Thiago. Jonathan Risa, former Liverpool left back, also said some interesting things about the Liverpool's January transfer window. When Virgil van Dijk first got injured, I wasn't surprised that they didn't seem interested in bringing in a replacement because they had Joe Gomez, but then Joe Gomez got injured himself, so I thought Liverpool might bring someone in at the same time who is available, but that's going to be good enough to come in and do a job. You would have to spend a lot of money on getting someone who is better than what Liverpool currently have available to them, and then when Van Dijk returns and Gomez comes back, what are you going to do with the player you spent big money on? Jurgen Klopp clearly has belief in the players he has available to him, and to be fair to them, they have been good this season, but I can't wait for Van Dijk to come back. Nobody is speaking about Van Dijk's return, which is a bit of a worry. I've seen him working on the bikes and things, but we don't see him seem to have a date on exactly when he will be fit again. I just hope it's sooner rather than later. The Norwegian Risa also added, goals have dried up in the last few games, but I think the return of Thiago is going to put an end to that. He's such an important player to this Liverpool side. His passes can open up defenses, and he will keep things ticking over in the middle of the park, creating chances for his teammates. He's the main player the team needs back. If he plays on Sunday, he will be the one who opens up Man United's defense. For United, Bruno Fernandes is going to be their main man on Sunday, and Thiago is the guy for Liverpool. And Andy Cole, a Manchester United legend and former Man United striker, even he said that Man United won't win the title this season, which is interesting. Can Manchester United go on to win the league this season? Probably not. I think for Man United to be top on January 12th, like Ole said, is a fantastic achievement considering where they were at a couple of months ago. They were in 15th position, remember, after a dreadful start, but since then they went on a winning run. Everyone was saying Ole shouldn't be the Manchester United manager, and I think it speaks volumes how he has turned it around and how they've got confidence to be where they are at now. If you look at the league and teams like Man City, who have not played particularly well until about 2-3 weeks ago, they have 2 games in hand and can go a point behind Man United if they win both. The players are just coming into form. I think the players appreciate the quality the players have, the quality Liverpool have, and to close the gap in one season, that's no mean feat. That's going to take some consistency, and those sides are yet to play very well. But to win it this season is going to take some doing. I don't think we've got enough to go ahead and win it this season, but I feel we can look towards next season when I think it could be a lot better. And I think that's right. Man United will probably finish 3rd. I can see Liverpool and Man City battling it out for the title in the long run, but it's absolutely vital for Liverpool to beat Manchester United, and I will preview that game very, very soon. And also a new Liverpool career mode episode is dropping later today, so stay tuned for that. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.